On Monday, Australia was transfixed by fresh sexual misconduct allegations against Geoffrey Rush, one of the nation's most celebrated actors. Australian actress Yael Stone alleged that Mr. Rush behaved inappropriately towards her during a theatre production in Sydney in 2010-11. Mr. Rush,
67,
has denied her accusations. Ms. Stone,
33,
said that she had feared speaking out because of personal and career reasons, echoing concerns raised by many women around the world since the MeToo movement began last year. But she also raised concerns that she could face legal consequences because under Australia's strong defamation laws, people or publications making allegations often face threats of legal action. Experts say worries like this are a key reason why the MeToo movement has not gathered as much momentum in Australia as in many other nations. Mr. Rush is currently suing a Sydney newspaper for defamation after it published allegations against him involving another actress, Eryn Norvill. Mr. Rush denies wrongdoing. Ms. Norvill did not speak to the newspaper and was not named in its reports, but she was publicly identified in the subsequent legal battle. She later agreed to give testimony in the defamation case, but like two other women at the center of prominent Australian cases of alleged sexual misconduct in the past year, Ms. Norvill had never wanted her experience to be known publicly. Last month, Luke Foley resigned as New South Wales state opposition leader over allegations that he groped a woman at a bar in 2016. They were first raised publicly by a political rival under parliamentary privilege, a method that affords additional legal protection. But alleged victim Ashleigh Raper, an Australian Broadcasting Corporation journalist, had wanted to remain anonymous. She only identified herself publicly in a bid to help raise off ongoing media and political interest. It is clear to me that a woman who is the subject of such behavior is often the person who suffers once a complaint is made, Ms. Raper wrote in a statement. Mr. Foley denies the allegations. He resigned within hours of Ms. Raper's statement and said he would begin a defamation action, but later decided against proceeding. In February, a businesswoman, Marriott, made a confidential complaint about Barnaby Joyce, Australia's former Deputy Prime Minister, accusing him of sexual harassment. It was later leaked to media outlets when Mr. Joyce faced political storm over his affair with an ex-staffer. Mr. Joyce said he considered the allegations spurious and defamatory, but did not launch legal action. In another high-profile case, actor McLachlan is suing two Australian media outlets under former co-star for raising allegations of sexual misconduct against him. Mr. McLachlan, a star of TV shows including Home and Away and The Dr. Blake Mysteries, has denied accusations by three women. According to the Australian Human Rights Commission, 1 in 3 Australian workers have been sexually harassed in the past 5 years. But of those workers, fewer than 1 in 5 made a report or a complaint. Experts say that's down to a multitude of reasons. Among other concerns, women may be concerned about the security of their jobs, becoming the target of community gossip, being labeled a troublemaker, a lawyer, says Skye Saunders from the Australian National University. She says the MeToo movement has helped to tackle such challenges, but she also believes that Australia's conversation has been muffled by defamation laws. Australia puts the legal onus on a person making allegations to prove that they are true. This is different to the US, for example, where the onus is on the accused person to prove an allegation was made with malice. Women in Australia have to be more wary than our sisters in the United States, given the intersections of defamation laws and the MeToo movement. Skye Saunders says, discrimination law researcher Karen O'Connell calls it striking that in the past year, no prominent cases have been brought under Australia's sexual harassment laws. Instead, there have been high-profile defamation cases. Are other people taking women's situations and running with it themselves? That's really concerning, says Skye O'Connell from the University of Technology, Sydney. She also believes that the adversarial nature of defamation cases she said, discourse skews that public conversation. Instead of the talk being about how to make people feel safe in workplaces, it becomes instead this narrative about women bringing down men in powerful positions. Skye O'Connell says, and that is not what MeToo is about. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco with cats to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlil in the high Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Toubkal. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco with cats to their necks, the country's Interior Ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlil, in the high Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Toubkal. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. The US military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group al-Shabab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28, it said in a statement. This were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants. Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States. In January 2017, a tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined. The latest strikes bring to at least 40 the number carried out in Somalia so far this year, compared with 35 recorded in 2017. The United States has a huge military base in neighboring Djibouti, from where it launches attacks on the militants. Mr. Trump gave the United States military greater authority in March 2017 to attack militants in Somalia. Traditionally, as presidents have been wary of intervening in Somalia since 18 Special Forces soldiers died fighting militias in the capital Mogadishu in 1993, a battle dramatized in the film Black Hawk Down. No civilians were killed in the latest airstrikes, which were carried out in coordination with the Somali government, the United States military said. Alongside our Somali and international partners, we are committed to preventing al-Shabab from taking advantage of safe havens from which they can build capacity and attack the people of Somalia, the United States Africa Command said. Al-Shabab, which is linked to al-Qaeda, has not yet commented on the latest strikes. Somalia-based security think tank the Eryn Institute said in a report published in November that al-Shabab had been forced to change tactics following the upsurge in airstrikes. The institute said the group was now conducting fewer mass attacks on military bases. but a tax on government offices and businesses which refused to pay its taxes had increased markedly. The United States State Department, in its most recent report on terrorism, described Somalia as a terrorist safe haven and said al-Shabab remained a threat despite suffering setbacks. The group retained control over large parts of the country and the ability to carry out high-profile attacks using suicide bombers, explosive devices, mortars, and small arms. The report added, a popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shennong Mountain Scenic Park, in eastern Hainan province said it would waive the $9.65 ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone.